What is going on, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. Bringing you my review for The Flash, episode 22. It is late. I do apologize for that, but I was ridiculously tired last night. So let's get right into it. There's a lot to talk about. A lot happened last night, and it's basically setting up things for season 2. The finale next week should be really great, and there's also some more things that were cleared up because there was a lot of confusion as far as the timeline is concerned with Arrow. So careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, but I imagine at this point you have. So let's get right into it. The episode was really, really amazing. I really liked it. There wasn't as many scenes, or really any scenes, between Barry and Iris. I would have liked to see that, but at least we got a lot of other important things, like the overall timeline clarification, because a lot of that was kind of confusing. The timeline now, at least it makes sense, because the episode last night took place before last week's episode of Arrow. And you can tell once Oliver says that he might need his help, that is really clearing that up. So the events that happened, basically when Oliver shows up at the end of the episode to help Barry, that happened before Oliver and Nyssa get married. Now, there's some issues with this on Arrow just because how is he able to slip away so easily? I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm holding Ra's al Ghul to a higher standard, but that's where it is as far as the timeline is concerned. So he'll show up, Central City, help Barry with Firestorm, take on the Reverse Flash, go back to Nanda Parbat, get married, and then Team Arrow gets poisoned. All of that will take place. So now we understand the timeline, because Arrow is ending 1 week before the Flash. So the Flash finale will be next week, whilst the Arrow finale is tonight. So that really clears it up, as if you guys had any questions about that. So that was great. One of the other things I really enjoyed about the episode, Eddie Thawne. Now, him and Iris break up, but I feel like there's a lot of things that happen that are basically setting a path for him, setting things in motion for his character to hopefully become the Reverse Flash at some point, or if not, maybe some other character. There's a couple other characters he could, at least one or two that he could potentially become. It really depends what direction they're going with the show. Now, his breakup with Iris, he's really just not too happy with the article, the newspaper article that the Reverse Flash showed him. Eobard Thawne basically says you're not going to get the girl either, and that doesn't really set well with him. So I don't think he's going to automatically start, he's not going to defect to the dark side, if you will, and start helping Eobard Thawne out of nowhere. But what they're basically doing now is kind of getting things started, because by the time the show hits like season 3 or 4, he should at least be at that point to become a villain. They could also do something where Barry's put in a situation where he has to betray Eddie, because he's still going to be Team Flash. He's still going to help them out if he can. He's still going to be a detective on the force, but I feel like there's going to be tension between him and Joe as well, since they're partners. So maybe something happens, they're not partners anymore, and it leads to this kind of situation where Barry is still willing to help him, but it comes down to something where he has to betray him and do something for the greater good, kind of going against his normal nature, like the way he worked with Captain Cold last night. So something like that could set him on a darker path. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with season 2 and 3 and moving forward. But I hope to see him become a Reverse Flash at some point. I think that would be great. Now, there was some more stuff about the Speed Force. I think that was really great as well, because it seems like more Speed Force is required for lengthy time travel, as referenced by Gideon in a couple episodes back, maybe episode 17 or so. And it really kind of explains a lot with Harrison Wells, with the power source on the wheelchair, the particle accelerator, all of that. So this episode basically was used as a lot of, it was like information overload. Like, if you really pay attention to everything, listen to all of the dialogue, even look out for the little comic book references or the general references that they make. For example, the reference to Hal Jordan being missing when they were at Ferris Air. I mean, things like that. Now, I don't know if they'll ever do a Green Lantern TV show, or if they'll have any kind of cameo, guest appearance, any of that, but it would be great to see. I think it would be pretty amazing if they did it. So, but it's nice that they're keeping their options open, because you see what they're doing there is they're entertaining the idea that if we want to do it, we've already set things in motion for it to happen. It'll make sense. So I really like that as well. But by far, Captain Cold last night was the star of the show. He united the rogues, and it's great because he saw an opportunity for his own gain, and he took it. That's really what it's all about. He's a criminal. That's as simple as it gets for him. And Barry will have to learn that you can't really trust someone like that, but he really saw that he had no other option in that situation. But Captain Cold did what he does best, and that is getting a bunch of other guys to owe him a favor. Now, this is a simple reference to the Rogues. They don't really like each other, but they will work together to make money, their own gain, that type of thing. So he carried the episode last night. It was really, really good. And I think what they were really doing last night too with Captain Cold, because since he's going to be on the spin-off Legends of Tomorrow, I feel like it's kind of similar to what they did with Adam on Arrow. They're basically giving these characters that are on these shows right now little moments to shine, so that when they go over to their spin-off together, there's at least some kind of buzz, so people are like, okay, cool, I want to see this character, because they know not everyone maybe is into the comics or anything like that. So I guess this is their time to use specific characters like Captain Cold. I was surprised Heatwave wasn't there, because being a fan of Prison Break, seeing the two of them together again, Michael Scofield, Lincoln Burrows, it's always kind of cool. So that's where Captain Cold's character is at. He's going to be guest starring on both shows coming next season, I imagine. I think Wentworth Miller is pretty much involved with the show now at this point. So it'll be great, and then he'll be on his own show. So that'll be interesting to see how they handle all of that. But the biggest moment, and also before I get to this, Deathbolt, seeing him on The Flash as well was pretty cool. His return. One of the things I love about these shows is bringing in different characters. I love seeing characters guest starring, new characters showing up. It's really, really great. So the biggest moment, Firestorm, Oliver join Barry to fight the Reverse Flash. Now, I enjoyed this just because it was almost Avengers-like in a way. You really don't get a team up like this. You know, Flash versus Arrow was pretty cool, but this was different. Now, if we see something a little bit on a grander scale, I think that would be even better, but the fight was great. The special effects have gotten better all around. Like, if you look at the first 5 episodes of The Flash, and this is something I talked about in reviews in the past, just special effects in general, not really too big a fan sometimes, because you can really see some things that are noticeable, but they've gotten better for sure, and I can definitely appreciate that. They're not running on a super, super high budget, so it's really impressive when they pull off the stuff that they do. So Oliver hits Eobard Thawne with the nanites, reference to Adam as well. Again, great stuff, keeping universes connected, always referencing other characters, keeping everyone involved so you don't ever forget another character. Really, really good stuff. And Oliver was in full Al-Sahim costume, and he looks great. Looks really, really great. I'd like to see him come on The Flash again, because this guest starring stuff that they have set the groundwork for with this season 1 of The Flash and season 3 of Arrow, it just can't go away now. I want to see it every single season, because it's just really, really great. So, especially with Barry, because he can just run to Star City if he wants to in a minute, so it's no big deal for him. So I hope they continue to do stuff like that. But great fight, special effects are good, and I hope to see more. Next week's episode of The Flash is going to be huge, so I'll probably do 2 videos for that, just talking about different things, because I might do a video separately just talking about the Flashpoint Paradox, and then my general review, so look out for that stuff. Subscribe if you're new. And also, before I go, Caitlin Snow, it seems like this is probably the closest to a Killer Frost moment that we're going to get for a while. I'm still hoping that she becomes Killer Frost, which is a shame, because I really actually like the Caitlin Snow character. She seems so nice, calm, mild, as opposed to what Killer Frost actually is. So we'll see what they actually do with this. But I think, again, just like Eddie Thawne, they're going to start laying the groundwork to set her up to become Killer Frost at some point. So next week, I fully expect Barry to time travel, and the Flashpoint Paradox timeline will shift everything if it does go through that way. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like on the video. It was a great episode. There's more I could talk about. Again, the Green Lantern reference, I could spend 10 minutes just talking about that alone. I'm not that big a fan of the Green Lantern. I mean, he's popular. I like him. He's cool. But seeing a show about the Green Lantern, I think would just be amazing. So we can always hope. I will see you guys tonight for Arrow. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Damien.